Welcome to Totally Pointless. This is JT,
And I'm TJ.
and we're here for a live, our first together.
We are. Now the music is still playing. There we go.
Is it really?
Nope, not anymore.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Yeah, there might be a delay there if you're on like the YouTube thing. I found that last time there was a little bit of a delay. It's coming through all right. I can't see our actual page. Let me just load it up here. Oh. I think that's the old one. What did I just do? Are we sure this is working?
It's very delayed. I'm watching you, but we're like 3 minutes behind.
Wow. I've got it open and I'm still seeing our like title page, which can't be right. Oh, okay, there we go. So the first one is still waiting. Let me go and remove that one.
Sorry, guys. We're just having technical difficulties here for a minute.
To be expected, I think. All right, so we're going to delete that one forever. There we go. All right. All right, shouldn't be any more confusion now. I think we're down to just one live. Not sure what happened there, but also not sure how long we should kind of wait. This is our second live there. The first one, I wasn't able to get TJ in on the live, so this is our first one together. I don't know how long we should wait here to see if we get anyone joining in, but so how do I get the link now for the second one? I am so confused with what's going on here. There we go. All right. I don't know how you're doing it. It's very confusing to have the YouTube live up that's kind of delayed a little bit.
Okay, well, I think we should just jump right into exactly what has happened today now with Trudeau and Trump and what's going to happen moving forward and what you think the whole reasoning was that Trump decided
Okay, how about now?
No,
No, still no sound.
no
My my
sound.
my green bar is going up and down there. It shows that it's hearing me. Uh, yes, you can hear me. Okay.
Okay, they can hear us now. All right, perfect. Thank you.
All right. So let's see if we can play the video now and have it play through. Just one moment.
We're following some breaking news into our newsroom here, fresh out of the White House. As Donald Trump walked out of the Oval Office telling reporters he had a good phone call with Justin Trudeau, we now know these tariffs against Canada, much like the deal with Mexico, have now been delayed for at least 30 days. In a statement posted to social media, to Twitter just a few minutes ago by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's account, he writes, "I just had a good call with President Trump. Canada is implementing our $1.3 billion border plan, reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology, and personnel, enhanced coordination with our American partners, and increased resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 frontline personnel are and will be working on protecting the border. In addition, Canada is making new commitments to appoint a fentanyl czar. We will list cartels as terrorists, ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a Canada-U.S. joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. I've also signed a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl, and we will be backing it with $200 million. Proposed tariffs will be paused for at least 30 days while we work together." So that's the latest statement, fresh out of the Prime Minister's office, posted to social media by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Tariffs from the U.S. administration have now been delayed for at least 30 days thanks to this agreement reached between Canada and the U.S.
Hi, we're Charity Walk.
All right. So what do we think?
Well, I'm thinking honestly that, I didn't really believe that it had to do with fentanyl and immigration. I was thinking that it was because, he was really pushing to annex Canada. But I mean, the fact that Parliament is still prorogued and we're doing this all on our own, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't believe this was about our border either. I don't think it. Well, maybe a very small part of it had to do with it. Um, I do believe that it's true. You know, we do have. I think the estimate I heard today or I watched today was 500,000 people that are undocumented living in Canada. Um, you know, so we don't know what's going on inside our own country, let alone who's crossing our border.
No, not at all. And I believe, honestly, if I don't know. Can I be honest? Like, I don't know. You're kind
Please.
of jumping on the screen a little bit, reminding me of Chrystia Freeland when she's doing her interviews all the time on
Really?
TV. Yeah, it's bouncing a little bit. I don't know if anyone else is seeing that. But
I'm like Max Headroom. Do you remember that show?
I do.
There you go.
Bobblehead.
I would actually like to get a Max Headroom, you know, kind of persona that I could put up there instead of myself. You know, nobody wants to see this.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. But yeah, I feel that right now, if we're just starting out on with the live, I mean, we will get these glitches fixed, right? On the two watching now, so maybe people here. I wonder if is Chris still in here? I don't know if he's here, JT, but um, for what we have right now, I mean, I'd love to hear what other people think. But I'm listening to us through the headset, and it's all still very low, the sound.
Okay.
So that could be why we're losing people as well.
It could be. I don't know how to fix that. The audio mixer is at full, so I'm not sure. But again, something for us to kind of play with there. So
Absolutely. And I think that too, like I just really, I mean, even between you and I'd love to know just your thoughts, period. Do you think
oh,
that,
I have so many thoughts though.
I know, but do you think that Trump is honestly going to say, okay, forget all the tariffs? Because all he keeps posting is, how was Canada's aid? How did it work? It was all tariffs and merits. I want to get the Americans not having to pay any taxes. How do I do that with tariffs? So, do we actually think that he's going to say, you know what, never mind the tariffs now?
Well, I think the tariffs are probably coming for, you know, the European Union, for China, for Japan, for all these countries. I
Well, did
honestly
you not
think,
hear though? Like Musk is trying to convince him to drop the tariffs fully for China.
well,
So,
but you know, just thinking of it as a selfish way there, you know, he probably gets a lot of his stuff produced in China.
absolutely.
Let's just
Well,
be realistic, right?
even Trump, I mean, all of his mega everything. I mean, that's all China making that for him, right? It's okay for T-shirts and that, but apparently, you know, I don't know. We're ordering the fentanyl. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Um, but I don't think tariffs are his goal for Canada. Um, I just from what he's been saying and what makes sense seems to be, you know, it's going to be about, you know, us becoming a state. You know, all of
Well,
North America becoming one giant powerhouse. You know, natural resource rich economic powerhouse.
yeah, but how is he going to do that? I mean, he's trying to cause us to economically collapse so that we'd have no choice. So, do we actually think that he's going to just say, you know what, just protect your border and we're good now?
I
I
don't believe
mean,
that at
did,
all. No,
did
he
Danielle Smith do anything? I mean, I know that we've got the 10% on the oil, but is that because right now they need our oil?
but they don't need our oil. That's the whole thing. You know, they may need our oil eventually. Um, but in a video I posted there a few days ago, you know, I did the math, right? If they just open up their reserve, the oil they have holding back for, you know, in case they go to war, um, you know, they can last almost 3 months with not a drop of oil from anybody. So they're still going
Right.
to bring in Venezuelan oil. They're still going to bring in, you know, oil from Kuwait, you know, Saudi Arabia. They can outlast us in almost everything.
But what about hydro?
That's probably the only thing we have over them at this point. If we turned off the power on Super Bowl Sunday, um, it's
I
the
saw
only
that comment.
it's the only thing we could do.
Yeah. It's sad though. Like we don't want to go to war with our neighbors. Like I don't think turning off their power at all is something. If it was only going to affect Trump in the White House and let him see, oh, he's in the dark for a little bit, but I'm not sure he's gonna.
Well, and I wish I had the video clip ready. I don't. I watched a video from an American in New York who was like, you know, Canadians, you're threatening to turn off my power. She's like, I don't have anything against you guys. Why would you do that to me? She's like, just turn off the power at the White House.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
wish
you
it
know
was
what
that
else
easy,
was
right?
embarrassing though? Watching like our hockey fans and our Raptors fans. I mean, booing the national anthem. You know, the poor girls that are singing, and we're booing them, and they don't really need our oil, Bruce. Well, I would like it if we could keep our oil, not sell it to the U.S. and buy it back. To be honest, I think that would be a step for Canada. To be honest with you, I think that would be great for us. But yeah, what did you guys think of the booing of the national anthem? Was anyone else? I was kind of embarrassed for us, but I kind of understood as well. Like I'm one of those. I'm on the fence.
I can understand where it's coming from. You know, our country is being attacked. I get people being upset. and wanting to voice that frustration. But it's not a very Canadian thing to do.
Yeah, I'm on the fence here because it's not the Americans that are doing, like, it's literally Trump. I know a lot of Americans are supporting him, of course, but it's another thing where I wish that I could back Trudeau the way that Trump fans back Trump, if that makes any sense. Like, I have no faith in Trudeau at all.
No, I understand completely. And actually, on that point, let me pull up another video that I've got queued up here.
Okay.
Hopefully the sound comes through. Let me know if it's not, guys. All right, so let me just give me a sec.
With President Trump's new tariffs on Canada's economy, it is reckless to remain so helplessly dependent on just one export market, the United States. Canada must also look to sell to other countries, and I found just the one. It is a country that needs Canada's products, and it sells things that we benefit from buying. It's a peaceful democracy with lots of resources and famously nice people. It shares our climate, culture, and would you believe it? Their official languages are French and English.
Like, doesn't that sound amazing, guys? Oh, did I lose everyone?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Chris, are you in the States?
Just like us. There's only one problem. This country imposes massive trade barriers on us that cost about $5,100 per person. So which country is it that we should be pursuing as our new top trading partner? Switzerland? France? No. Our new top trading partner will be Canada. But don't we already have free trade with ourselves? Nope. It's actually easier for our businesses to sell to other countries than to other Canadian provinces. Trade barriers between Canadian provinces are actually more costly than trade barriers between Canada and other nations. The result is that we now trade more with the rest of the world than we trade with ourselves. In 2023, international trade was worth 66% of our GDP, while interprovincial trade was only worth 36%. That makes no sense. Economist Trevor Tom estimated that eliminating all interprovincial trade barriers would boost Canada's economy by as much as 7.9% and generate an economic boost of $200 billion per year, or $5,100 per person. In 2022, Canadian provinces and territories sold nearly $600 billion to the U.S. and only $241 billion to each other. Trade barriers are standing in the way of Canadians doing business with Canadians. So what are these barriers? Well, some provinces have rules that discriminate against or block Canadian products from other provinces to favor politically connected corporations and power-hungry bureaucrats who profit from blocking customers from shopping around. For example, in 2012, Gerard Como was fined for buying alcohol in Quebec to bring it back to New Brunswick. He challenged it up to the Supreme Court, but the court wrongly denied his constitutional right to transport goods across provincial borders.
A New Brunswick man that just wanted cheaper beer. He took his fight to the Supreme Court of Canada, but today was denied in a landmark ruling. You can do business more easily with Belgium than you can with another province in this country. What is the next step? Is this a political decision that needs to get tackled? What needs to happen?
Well, it seems to me that it is a political decision. Often, provinces have contradictory health and safety regulations which slow or block the moving of goods. Differing weights and clearances by provinces slow and stop truckers from shipping goods. For example, some provinces require certain trucks to only drive during daylight, but the provinces can't agree on the definition of daylight. Construction zones in different provinces have different height limits and permits that are approved one day and can be voided the next. Therefore, our truckers can't efficiently move the massive machines and materials needed to build pipelines, bridges, and other big projects or to affordably move goods to your local store or your doorstep. You know, the laws of physics are the same in every province. If a certain tonnage of weight is safe to carry.
All right. Well, we'll hold that there for a minute. It starts getting into here, more stuff about, what he'll do as the next prime minister. So I just, I don't know.
Now again, I mean, I'm at the point like I'm a huge Pierre fan. Don't get me wrong. Only because he's saying everything that I want to hear. But what makes me nervous is all politicians. I mean, they say exactly what we want to hear, right? What are you thinking?
Yeah. I know I've said this to you, not in a live. Um, I personally, the conspiracy theory that they all have the same boss anyway. Um, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But at the same time, I have to kind of put that part of my brain aside because right now the way we're going is just it's so.
Okay, so let's bring Trump back into this. Okay, so
Yep.
we've got. I mean, his first week. I mean, we were blown away, right? We couldn't keep up. I mean, we're trying to tell everyone, the best that we could find, but he's got the deportation going on. He has only the two sex genders going on. He's got tariffs going on. He's got war going on. I mean, they're blowing up ISIS. I mean, he has so many things on the go right now. I'm still waiting for the JFK files to be released, but would we ever find a leader that would be doing all of that within his first week in office? And would we want a leader doing all of that
Well,
within his first week of office?
So kind of to tie that in to what you said before, I think the reason why Trump is kind of universally hated across the U.S. is because he's not part of that, traditional group, right? He doesn't have a handler. He doesn't have someone, pulling his strings from behind. So he's not part of the establishment, and I think that's probably most of the problem.
Yeah, well, I agree there, but at the same time, I mean, is there now? Don't again. I was a huge Trump supporter, and I really wanted him to win. I liked everything that he was saying, and then a lot more came out. I didn't like everything he was saying, but I liked some of what he was saying, and I like that he doesn't give a a poopy, right?
Yep.
He's not concerned about what anyone says. He's not reporting to anyone. I wish that we would pull Canada out of the World Health Organization. I mean, wouldn't that be nice, right? I wish that Pierre was going to pull us out of the Paris Accord. That would be nice. But
yeah, there are a lot of things that would be nice. We need to stop. Well, the carbon tax. Thank you for bringing that up. We've got all these people all up in arms right now because there's going to be a 25% tariff, but nobody seems to care that the carbon tax is going up by 20% on April 1st. Like,
yeah.
Guys, come on. This is important.
Don't care. It's what can they do? What can we literally? What can we do right now? We can't even force an election. I mean, we're praying to God that this court case for the Parliament prorogue does something. You said today that they put in their papers, right? So the filing stands. So February 13th.
February 13th and 14th, yeah.
That they force Parliament to resume, but what can we do? We're just, we don't have anyone. We don't have guns. We don't have anything here, and I'm not saying that guns are the option. We're not even allowed to legally protest peacefully anymore.
Well,
what can we do?
That's the thing, though, and that's something that I think we could definitely take, a lesson from the Americans. If the Americans are going to get an extra 1% tax, they protest. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. They're up in arms. This is not going to happen. Like hell, you're gonna, gonna tax me more. This is not okay.
A government where, gosh forbid, if we do anything, we've got the Emergency Act being called on us. My bank account was frozen as a terrorist for donating $50. I mean, it's not like I even You know what I mean?
No, and I get
Um,
that. In Canada, we do not have the right to free speech. I get that. And that's another thing, that maybe joining the U.S. wouldn't be such a bad thing. Um, you know, Everyone seems very confused. We don't have a constitution. We do not have the right, the First Amendment, Second Amendment rights. We don't have them. We watch a lot of American TV and people think that, oh yeah, just say what you want. That's not part of Canada.
we can't even have access to our own news, guys. Like, it's pretty bad.
No, we
And
have
I see a
censorship
lot of
bills. We
Americans, I mean, since we've been doing this, God love them. My sister, I mean, she moved to the US. She's never coming back, right? Her and her hubby will never come back to Canada. They've been there now 12 years. Or, no, gosh, 20 years. Oof, how old am I? I'm aging myself here.
don't
But
do
they've been
that.
there 20 years. Like, they're huge Trump supporters. They're very, religious. My brother-in-law's father is a pastor. Um, they cannot stand Canada anymore. And here we are. We're staying. The only thought, I mean, I liked the thought of being able to move to Hawaii. Like, live,
Definitely.
right?
I'm coming
We're
with
in
you.
Cape Breton Island, guys. It's cold. When I chose to move, I moved from Ontario to Cape Breton Island, and I thought island, hammocks, beaches. It's freezing. It's windy nonstop. You've got bug season, wind, and cold. So, I mean, Hawaii wouldn't be a bad island, but other than that, I don't know. I don't like the mass shootings. I don't like the school shootings. There's a lot of things about the states that are also scary.
Yeah, but it's scary everywhere, right? Yeah, you have to kind of pick and choose your battles, I guess. Do we want censorship bills, or do we want to, work on people, being trained to use guns? I don't know. I don't know which one's better. I'm not saying which one's better. What I do know is that I'm getting very tired of what we have. So if Plivier is the other option, um, and that kind of goes back to him being a career politician. He's got his own handlers. I'm not sure that's going to be exactly better for
But
us.
how do you think, honestly, how do you think, his whole positioning on two genders is going to fit in Canada? I mean, we're not the states, you know what I mean? I know that it went off a weird way, and I get that, but we're not the states. I think there'd be huge riots and uproars. I mean, I just saw that Trump is now making Pride Month Veterans Month. Imagine trying that here in Canada.
Well, and especially here on the island, right? We have a lot, a disproportionate a lot of the I don't even know what they're called now. The LGBTQ plus, or I don't know. I probably missed some letters in there now because they've added some more. But we have a disproportionately large number. So
But
it
tell me why we don't have Veterans Month. Tell me why we don't have anything for our militaries. Like, it is kind of bad, and I love that he's stepping up. I mean, I don't know if I agree with giving them Pride Month, to be honest with you. I think that, it was very hard, and it still is very hard for, um, well, I can't even discriminate. I mean, it's hard for all of us, guys. Equal rights here. I mean, it's hard for all of us, but I mean, to then be turning against each other is hard too.
it,
I
it
know, I know, Chris. I get that there are only two genders that you know of. I know, but I'm just saying, we've allowed others now to mentally believe that there's more than two genders. Um,
well, and I heard someone say quite a while ago, and it kind of stuck in my head. There are two genders,
okay.
and there are a million personalities, and I think that nailed it right on the head for me. You're right. There is only two genders. You are male or you're female, but there's a million personalities, and how that comes out, how that affects your sexuality, it doesn't change the fact that a man shouldn't be going into the woman's bathroom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, the way that they're positioning it is they don't feel that they're male, right? I mean, this is a whole different topic. And to be honest, I mean, I'm old school. I'm older. I get worried about whatever I say nowadays. I can't even crack a joke. You know, back in our day, we grew up on Archie Bunker. Like, you know what I mean? Andrew Dice Clay. I mean, these
Exactly.
were my mentors growing up. So I get corrected by my kids now, and I'm like, oh no, you know, I I don't know, I don't know why I can't just say something without the backlash, right? It confuses me, but at the same time, I guess I'm not thinking of everyone's feelings anymore because what used to be a joke is no longer a joke. But yeah, I think that with Trump doing this, I mean, this is hard. And I was just reading in New Brunswick, I saw that article where, you know, a lot of the trans and that they're worried, are their passports even going to be in effect, right? What's going to happen? Having an X instead of a male or female. What happens there?
Yeah. See, and you know, obviously, I'm a little bit older than you, I think, but I I don't get it. I really don't. You know, if you want to, you know, have your sexual things behind closed doors, that's great. You know, it doesn't need to be wagged in my face. You know, if you look like a man, go in the men's bathroom. If you look like a woman, go in the woman's bathroom. You know, there.
But again, we're going off of looks, right?
Well, we are, but
You,
that
so,
that that
I mean,
it's perception, right? You know, if I'm in, you know, the men's bathroom, and you know someone walks in, and you know, maybe being a little bit crass here, but you know, somebody walks in with double D's wearing a skirt, you know, and you know, legs, you know, up to here, that is going to make me uncomfortable. You know, that's like, what are you doing in here?
oh, come on, right? Come on, men like women to go to the bathroom. I see it in movies all the time.
Well, I didn't want to say it the other way, right? You know, but look at it the other way too, right? You know, if you're in the woman's bathroom, you know, you're touching up your makeup, and you know, a 350 pound, you know, muscle bound guy walks in, you're gonna take a second, right? You're gonna be like, wait, whoa, what what's going on?
Well, I mean, the truck stops. I mean, the last time I was going through Ontario, the truck stops there had the general bathrooms, right?
Yes,
So, I mean, you were used to, and you know, um, universities, college. I mean, they have the general bathroom where everyone just uses them. So, for it then to be stipulated as per, you know, it's not comfortable. Um, but what does society expect from us to find now is acceptable? That's just it, right? Everything is supposed to now be acceptable. It doesn't matter what happens, right? Look at what happened with the Olympics and the boxing, and you know, I don't know if we ever found out was she trans or not. Right? I believe that she wasn't, but then it came out where she was born with both. I don't know if we ever found that one out.
yeah, she's I think they said something about a double X chromosome. Um, so she was born a woman, but she has male chromosomes. Um,
So
I didn't follow it too
would
much,
you
but
consider that a male fighting a female? Like for what point? But then what class? Because then are the males gonna say that she can't fight there?
see, unless we're gonna start doing genetic testing on every athlete to see how their chromosomes are, if she was born a woman and she has, you know, a bonus because of how her DNA is, great.
Yeah.
That's like saying, well, I want to be a boxer, but I'm not strong enough. So, you know, my genetics weren't good enough. So, you know, I want to fight, you know, only people that are with my genetics. It
Yeah.
genetics is part of sports. If you're genetically predispositioned, you know, that you can jump amazing and you can dunk from 14 feet away. Well, that's just how it is.
Yeah, I know we're getting way off topic here, but
we are, but that's
it's
how
just
lives are going
going
to go,
with,
right?
yeah, it's just how it is. And I'm just thinking about exactly how, like when Pierre gets in, Pierre wants to change a lot of things. And we've been watching the reactions of what Trump's been doing. Right now, we've been lucky enough to be the observers, right? Um, Saying most days I'm like, holy hoot, what now, right?
Yep.
But if Canada were to respond so instantly and change up everything that Canada's been for over a decade, right? How do we get back to where Pierre wants to bring us back to?
Well, it's obviously not going to be an overnight thing. Um, now, you say when Pierre becomes prime minister, I'm starting to think it's if Pierre becomes prime minister. Everything that's going on, we're looking at a possible, 2026 election now. When Carney gets in, they don't have to call an election by our election laws.
I'm sorry. I'm reading Chris's comments here. Chris, I totally believe that. Leave the kids out of it. Okay, children shouldn't know anything about anything. I am 100% with you, and I don't care what others choose to be either. But leave our kids alone. That's I think the one thing. And honestly, cats and dogs. Like I trying to understand how Alberta schools were putting um, litter boxes in the bathrooms for the kids. Like I was like, no way,
Yeah.
right? It's hard to imagine that adults would even turn around and say, you guys, little Jimmy here is now going under kitty kitty, and we now have to put in a litter box. And and the amount of sexuality that these children in kindergarten and grade 1 are facing with story times in libraries and that. I'm glad that my kids are older and we're going through that, okay? And if that makes me a terrible person for being happier that my kids didn't have to go through that, and that thank gosh we didn't have to at our age. It's just been such a shift where how do you shield your children when they're going to school and learning worse than what you could even put on TV or a horror movie or the news?
Yeah,
Ugh.
I don't know how I would handle it. Probably homeschool. I
Yeah. Well, I was upset when my sons were in school was when 9/11 happened. And my son Dylan, he was in kindergarten at the time. And when I went and picked him up early, I was living in Brampton, and apparently one of the pilots, I don't know if it was true or not, but anyway, his whole family got arrested in this building across from where I live from. We went and pulled the kids out of school early because SWAT was all at this outside their building. So we got the call to come get our kids. And Dylan came home telling me how he watched people plunging, were his words, to their deaths. The school brought all the kids into the gym, had them watching
Wow.
9/11. How crazy is that? And that I got upset with. I couldn't imagine now you're sending your kids and trusting that teachers are going to do the right thing, and your kid comes home saying, I'm now a dog.
Yeah, I don't know. That does remind me though of when I was in school, the Challenger explosion,
Okay,
right?
but one more second here. With regards to that, Chris, being a female, you shouldn't even have to buy tampons. I'm just saying, okay? I know it's disgusting and people are watching this, but I tried to gather and rally women just 1 week, you know? Just go to Parliament, go everywhere, and just let it go, let it out. Just walk freely. A few men are going to slip in that, and you know what? We're suddenly not going to have to pay. But I hear what you're saying about the male bathrooms. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Actually, he brings up sending the money to Ukraine and foreign aid. I had it up here, and when I restarted
What
the
about the day
live,
before the tariffs?
well, our foreign aid, the newest number I could find was for the 22-23 year. I was reading the report on foreign aid. Do you know that in 22-23 that we paid out over $15.8 billion in foreign aid?
Oh, okay, gross, Chris. Gross. Gross. I have a visual now.
That's crazy.
Sorry, JT, go ahead.
No, I was just saying there, I was reading the report there. The newest report, unfortunately, is 22-23. But in 22-23, we spent $15.8 billion on foreign aid. Like, I, our deficits are, what we're going to lose from this trade war, from $15.8 billion in 1 year. It's insane to me, and we spent more. And you're right, Chris. He did send $45 million to a special interest group the day before the tariffs were announced. Like,
Yeah.
at some point, we have to realize that we have priorities, and taking care of the rest of the world or special interest groups, none of this matters. We need to pay our bills. We need to take care of our people. We need to refine our resources in our country, if that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah. And while we're speaking of that, I mean, it's a little bit off topic again, but again, yesterday, Jagmeet Singh, how are we going to hit the U.S. back? Let's aim at, again, Elon Musk. This mad obsession, and then Doug Ford today, pulling out, like, what are we thinking of Jagmeet's obsession with Elon Musk? Is it envy? Because I'm thinking he's envious. There's no other way. He can't do any type of conference speech, even when he just does his own selfie videos. Elon Musk is in everything now. I know that Elon Musk is like there with Trump, but he's not Trump. He's not the president.
No, exactly. And Doug Ford today saying that they're going to rip up, $100 million contract with Starlink. I'm sorry. My first thought was, as the richest man, probably on the planet, do you think Elon really cares if Ontario doesn't have Starlink?
I'm just, no, no. I guarantee Elon Musk, we're probably not even a thought to him other than when he's on the Joe Rogan show making fun of our leader. I don't think he really cares what the Canadians do or don't do. I think he's busy building rockets and everything else. He's not going to worry about if we have Starlink.
Yeah, like his goals are set on Mars. He's not thinking about whether, the Ontario government has Starlink.
But if you look at all the tragedies that have happened, I mean, especially out here, like in areas where we get hit with these hurricanes and everything else, I would love to see where he's going to, all of the places in the state that have, fires, hurricanes out of power. He's supplying them all with free Starlink, free internet to get a hold of people. I'd love for us to be able to have an option like that, but we don't. We
Nope,
don't. And
unfortunately.
now let's make sure we don't have any contracts with him anywhere because, but he hand delivers them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see him as a bad guy. I'm just saying. I don't see him as a bad guy.
No, I don't either. And when it comes down to it, I don't think Trump's a bad guy. I think he just has a plan, and he wants to execute it.
Yeah, and exactly, Bruce, by the way. Like, it should be up to mom and dad to teach their kids what they believe is right or wrong. It took Starlink from Ukraine. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just Like, Doug Ford thinks, well, okay, again, I'm blaming Trudeau for this. We are one country where we are having our provincial premiers go and meet, whether people are controversial or not, over Danielle Smith going to meet with Trump. Who was going to? Parliament's prorogued. We weren't hearing anything from Trudeau. I don't care. I don't want any liberal out there. I mean, if Trudeau went, he would have done more than tariffs if Trudeau showed up at his door. I'm glad they had a nice talk today or whatever, but Danielle Smith took the initiative, went with Kevin O'Leary, and decided to go to Mar-a-Lago and speak with the president on behalf, maybe on behalf of Alberta. Yes, okay, but luckily Canada's part of Alberta. So she did what no one what our prime minister should have been doing, to be honest. She took the initiative and she went, and I fully support her at least taking some type of initiative where she was seeing that we had a lame duck prime minister doing nothing, and we still have one, and we're going through all of this, and they don't feel that Parliament is important to be resumed right now. The Liberals want to handle it all because they want to push Carney in and have Trudeau running the sidelines while Carney's in there, which it's gonna happen, if things don't turn around for us. I mean, and we have no say. He's never been elected to anything, and yet he's looking to be our next prime minister.
Yeah, just being installed, and it's Trudeau 2.0. We're gonna get a bigger, better carbon tax, and I say that with every bit of sarcasm that I could possibly put onto that statement. It's his ideas that Trudeau has been running with. When we get this, and again, we're going to get this. He's going to be installed as our prime minister. He's not going to call an election because why would he? They're going to be around till 2026, and in a month, if we get tariffs back, if this doesn't work out and we do end up in a trade war, what do you want to bet that we get an quote unquote emergency and we don't get an election because, well, we can't. We have to have a united front, and we're not going to get an election until 2027, 2028, because we're going to be in such dire straits, and that'll be the reason. It'll be an emergency.
Yeah, well, and it already is, and yeah, Bruce, I know that Trump only cares about making. I mean, I think that's, to be honest, like, you're not a fan of either. We're not a fan of any. They're all in it to make money for themselves. Let's be honest. Um, they don't really care. But you would want one that wants to be going out. Like, they want to. We need one man that wants to say, "I got in. I ran the country. I made the country better. That's because of me. That's my legacy." We have a prime minister that was like, how can I ruin Canada while I'm in power? I want to be remembered as Hitler. Like, honestly.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Right? He wants to go down for being like the worst ever. And yeah, Chris, I did see Anthony Marlowe's picture there too in Mar-a-Lago. Going down. She's pretty. I mean, I know he left his wife for this one, but she's a cutie herself. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly think, like, I just don't know why can't we just get independence in?
Well, that doesn't work in Canada.
We need it.
To be the first among ministers, you need a party to back you, and that's what our prime minister is, first among ministers. We would need to get away from the European style, from the English style government, and nobody even wants to go to proportional representation, let alone change our entire parliament.
Exactly. And Chris, you're absolutely right there. I mean, we the people, this is what I've been saying. Where can we, like, there has to be something that we can do, because our whole leadership is failing us. They're supposed to work for us, but there's nothing we can do. And no matter how many times the people are asking and begging a snap election, anything, like we're getting shut down, turned down, we're dealing with something like they had said when 9/11 happened. Parliament resumed immediately because of the economical pain it would put on Canada. I mean, they didn't delay it. Now we're being hit with even like we're being told these tariffs are coming into play, and this is going to, wipe out our whole automotive section. Ontario is going to be devastated. I mean, if Alberta, they only got the 10% tariffs for now, but if anything, they weren't told that. Parliament should have resumed right away, but because we're dealing with this fake liberal leadership race, because let's be honest, I don't see Trudeau getting out anytime soon. Either. I think he's not one to just say I'm done. Let's come on.
No,
Right?
I think this is going to be one of the reasons why he doesn't resign. Everyone
Exactly.
keeps talking about, well, Trudeau resigned. He did not resign. He
Well,
stated that
it's
he
funny because
intended to resign in the future, and now it's going to be, we all know what happens with intentions, right?
yeah.
It's not going to happen. This is a reason that he can hold on to power for another year or two.
Well, it was like Mark Miller had said on PowerPoint. Um, he had said that talking to Vaishnav, he said that we don't need Parliament or anything at all right now. The people that are covering it, which I'm sorry, are the three biggest idiots, but they're handling it just fine. They can pass anything through. They don't need. Well, okay. What about the capital gains tax increase? Right? Who's working on that right now? Um, they're focusing all on this, but Canadians, we're going to be hit everywhere. Come April 1st, we're effed. And if they choose to prorogue Parliament even longer, I mean, the Prime Minister can prorogue it for as long as he wants.
Well, and that's the thing, right? In our political system, Parliament only has to sit once a year. So if there's, if this court case goes through and the Prime Minister is just able to do what he wants when he wants, we don't have to have Parliament come back until what, December? And then they have to sit once and we can go away again.
Yeah. And then we're just saying, okay, well, this is it, and we just have to continue to take it. It is scandal after scandal, right? And I know we have a lot of Americans that join in, and like they're actually jealous, and they're poor Canadians with your free dental care, your free health care. You have such a nice prime minister with a soothing voice, and he's not bad on the eyes. The amount of comments, and I'm sorry, Trudeau, if you ever decide to watch Totally Pointless, okay, your voice annoys the F out of me. Just want to say that now, okay? I can't handle it. Your voice means lies. Every time I hear your voice, lie, 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 lie. That's all that goes through my head. Okay, so I don't want to hear it. You're manipulating. You're a narcissist. You are not a good person. And the thing about Trump, okay, some people love to hate him or hate to love him. He's honest. He's straight to it. We have a deceitful liar that just, I can't.
No, and you're right, Chris. Our Governor General is supposed to be impartial and is supposed to be for the betterment of Canada. She didn't have to accept the prorogation. Could very well say, no, this is not a reason. This is not for the betterment of Canada for us to stop Parliament so that you can have a leadership race for your little party.
I hope it comes out. It should be completely illegal that they did that. Completely illegal.
Well, it was found to be illegal in the UK Parliament there, and that's what our system is based off of. So I'm really hoping that is a precedent that can be brought up. I'm sure it will be brought up, but I'm hoping that the judge, takes that into consideration. We have a system that's based off of theirs. It's illegal for them. It's illegal for us.
Should be. I'm hoping so. But I mean, look at everything else that they did and got away with. Look at the amount of people. And I'm sorry if there's anyone on here or if anyone is watching and you are a huge supporter of the vaccines, okay, then this is not directed at you. And you can say, my own mother, I'm going to be honest with you, my own mother disowned me and said I was playing Russian roulette with everyone's lives because I didn't get the vaccine. So, if anyone's on here that did get the vaccine or waiting to get your 13th vaccine or whatever, just know that they did a lot of illegal things when it came to that vaccine and killed a lot of people. And where's the justice for that?
No, exactly. And another thing, guys, we're definitely a conservative leading pair here. Uh, Generally speaking, I am on the conservative side, but I'm more of a centrist. And I think I might have said this before. At one point the liberals were just kind of off from center. I'll admit in the past I have voted liberal. The first time that Trudeau ran, I absolutely voted liberal. But the liberals at the time were still a centrist party for the most part. Um, and I've said this to friends and family all over. Every time they say that Trudeau has ruined our country, I don't believe Trudeau ruined our country. I believe that he continued to ruin our country after Stephen Harper began the process. I feel like we've had almost 2 decades worth of government that has just run us into the ground. And that's probably where a lot of my skepticism comes with Polivier, who keeps saying about the glory days, the days when Stephen Harper was prime minister and when I was his housing minister and everything was great and rosy. Things weren't great and rosy. We were already on the way to becoming the laughing stock of the planet. Trudeau just took that and ran with it.
Well, he made it more into a game, right? Trudeau came in and it kind of became like hide and seek.
Yeah.
When you need him, you got to find him. Good luck. He's a really good hider. He has COVID all the
time. Right? Yeah.
He won't confront his people. If you see, all the videos, I mean, unless he's getting international students to stand next to him for his photo ops,
no, exactly.
He's getting cursed and cussed and told off every which way he turns. And yet he feels that Canada still needs him. We still need him. We love him.
Yeah. Now, guys, we are over an hour here. Obviously, we're not going to come up with any solutions here, but it is important to have those conversations. And I hope we haven't scared off anyone who may be a liberal supporter. We definitely want to hear from you too. Just don't let our harshness maybe scare you away.
Yeah, and it's only educating. We don't consider it what we feel is stuff that personally affected us when it came to the vaccine. 3 of my kids, I have 5 kids. 3 of my kids got the vaccine. Um, one is diabetic. The other one, she and her girlfriend, they believe everything that the government says, and why would the government try to hurt them? And then my son, whose girlfriend was in the UK, once COVID hit, she had to go back to the UK, so he wanted to go there. Well, with my son, he started having the heart issues. To this day, like physically, his health is not great, and it's still, we have to wait out here for one specialist that comes every 2 years to check on him. So, for reasons that personally affected me, I guess you would say, are my issues with the vaccine. Not hearsay, it's just, things that I've actually lived through. But other people, I mean, I understand wanting to keep your family safe. I am all for that as well. Keep yourself safe. I get it. I just wish they were a little more honest with it and not trying to bribe us. I mean, how can you get COVID when you're standing up but not sitting down? I'm under 5 feet. I really didn't need to wear a mask at any time. I'm the same height as people sitting down to eat. And what is this like? We're going to eat outside, but bring outside inside. We can all sit in a tent outside and eat, but we can't eat it. Well, I wasn't actually allowed to do anything because I didn't have the vaccine, so I didn't even get to experience that. But it was just watching it, and following the signs in the grocery stores. The little arrows was going to save our lives. So just ridiculous.
Yeah. So again, guys, I don't know what the answer is. you know, but we're going to have the conversations. We're going to do these lives. Hopefully I can get the technology to work a little better here for us. But we're going to have these lives hopefully a couple times a week, so we can keep that conversation going.
Sounds good. Well, it was great being able to chat about it. I hope everyone has a great rest of the night, and let's hope that within this month we get some good results.
No, exactly. And this has been Totally Pointless, guys. Again, I'm JT.
I'm TJ.
And we hope you guys tune in.